both teams. First for Denver, then it's Porter, and it's Millsap in at the 4 spot. And then for the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James is out there with Caldwell Pope, and in the middle, the long body JaVale McGee. Absolutely elusive. Then it's Green, and it's Davis at the power forward position. And give an unofficial assist, Clark, to his teammate for setting the screen that freed him up.
Yeah, good call, Kevin. That was really the key to the play.
You know, last season, a lot of folks had the Lakers picked as the super team in the West, the team that would maybe challenge Miami and LeBron, but from the start, it just never was a cohesive group and really had one of the most disappointing seasons in the Lakers' history.
Jokic, guarded by McGee. Shot clock at 6. Here's Porter. Second shot opportunity. Millsap misses.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Again, Doris Burke spoke with Mike Malone. Doris?
He said that one player he's really wary of is Anthony Davis. He's been doing the game in so many ways. Defense, shot blocking, rebounding, and scoring. He's still adding muscle, and we've got to capitalize on that strength advantage at both ends. Kevin, that's the MO for any young player. We'll see how he stands up to it.
Thanks again, Doris. And it's the Nuggets with the ball, following the basket by Anthony Davis. Green against Porter, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play. Clark, as you said, the Lakers had a lot of lofty expectations put on them, but you never know what's going to happen when a team is put together. And Steve, they just couldn't reach that bar that was set so high for them.
Yeah, the expectations were so high, Kevin, but injury issues cost them all season long. Nash, Howard, Powell, and of course Kobe with the Achilles at the end of the year. And that unit only started 7 games all season together, so they never really were able to develop any chemistry.
Some thought the Nuggets might be a dark horse team to get to the Western Conference Finals last season, but they didn't even get out of the first round. They lost to the Warriors, a very good Warriors team, in 6 games.
Now here's LeBron. Back to Davis. No good with the layup.
The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane.
There's the screen. Pass to Millsap. Now the dish to Porter. From deep three-point range, the shot is off. So the Lakers will take it the other way. And going back to that series, Clark, I think it was easily one of the most exciting series of the first round, but the Nuggets knew they would have an uphill battle when they dropped game 2 at home. You know, Steve, they looked like they missed Gallinari in some of those games outings.
Well, I think anytime you're down a three-point shooter, it makes it very difficult, particularly in the playoffs when teams can sit back and pack the paint. So I thought that was what that series showed, is that in the postseason, the best three-point shooting team often has a big advantage, and the Warriors clearly were much better from beyond the arc.
Here's LeBron after the made shot from Porter. Davis setting the pick for LeBron. Millsap with the steal. Porter kicks to Millsap. The pass to Craig. Now Murray. The 19-foot shot. Dishes it to Porter. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
And that call gets an instant reaction from the fans.
Well, that's a whistle that did not go over very well.
Just 4 seconds left to play here in the first. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter.
And while it wasn't the biggest win streak of the season, the Nuggets did have a pretty good rampage of their own from the end of February into March. And because it happened when the Heat were doing what they were doing, the Nuggets kind of flew under the radar. He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. but that one's going to count.
And you can hear the reaction of the fans to that call.
Well, it's obvious they did not like it, Steve.
Now here's Howard. Pass to Morris. Grant on him. Releases. Rebound by the Nuggets. Well, as you said, the Nuggets put together their big 15-game winning streak. But, you know, Steve, since it happened, when the Heat rattled off their big push, nobody really even seemed to notice.
That's right. It might have worked out in their favor anyway, Kevin, because that win streak really kind of put them into high gear and allowed them to climb into the third spot in the West. Probably it was nice not having the media focused on them and wanting to talk to them every day about what was happening in the Western Conference.
Okay, well, let's jump in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, gentlemen, the Lakers barely squeezed into the playoffs last season. Despite that, they have the largest luxury tax bill in the league, almost $30 million, more than double the next highest team in the Miami Heat. So, maybe one silver lining for them with Dwight Howard deciding to move to Houston? The team won't have to shoulder the even more punitive taxes that began this season. Kevin?
Good point, Doris. The Nuggets making the switch here. We've got 1:48 left to play here in the half. Morris kicks it to Noah. He passes to Bates. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Dozier, he's guarded by LaRusso. Smooth as silk on the finger roll.
So much of what ailed the Lakers could be traced to the lack of defensive presence, and it really came to a head when Magic Johnson, one of the greatest Lakers of all time, called them out about looking to play Showtime offense while not paying attention to solid defense.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
The Nuggets have gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Grant the pass to Morris. Dozier, he's guarded by LaRusso. Grant inside. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
Solid on the one-hand throw down there.
You know, Clark, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Yep. Yeah, you got that right, Kevin. He's such a reliable finisher.
And that one misses. And going back to what Clark said, they didn't actually try to run that much based on time, or more than what they might have been used to, certainly, Steve, but the D was a concern in a major way.
Well, it was really more about teams running wild on them instead of the other way around. You look at the Laker personnel, big front line last year with Howard and Gasol. The transition defense wasn't quite there to throw in the injuries, but we were never able to find that balance between good offense and solid defense.
Here is Cook. Pass to LaRusso. Lakers making the ball run now. The drive by Smith. It's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession.
So close to picking that pass off, guys.
At least he got a hand on it. He did what he needed to do to make sure it didn't hit the target.
Pocket 4. Here's Kuzma. Offensive rebound. Out. Pass. Run down.
Terrific rebound. He never gives up. Always persistently pursuing the pump.
And that's an essential quality for an offensive rebounder. An outstanding offensive rebounder that he is.
Yeah, he's got to go after it, and he does.
Yeah, he qualifies as one of the best in the league.
Free throw good, Howard. 3 minutes of action so far in the second quarter. Here's Jokic. No good on that last second attempt there. Close game as we wrap up the second quarter. And now,
brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball.
You know, a big reason that the Nuggets were able to finish with the third best record in the West last season was they took care of business in the Western Conference. I mean, they went in every game against a conference opponent knowing what was on the line and handled business from there.
Davis setting the pick for LeBron. He's covered by Murray. LeBron wishes to Davis. And the shot is good. Davis has got the first points to start out the third quarter for the Lakers.
He's very savvy in traffic. When he gets inside, has a kind of an uncanny way of shielding himself from contact and finding a way to finish at the rim.
And, you know, the thing he might do better than anything else, guys, is bang the offensive glass. I mean, he really works hard at that.
The record for the Nuggets against the West ended at 38-14. Just one off the mark of the Thunder. Steve, for the best record within the conference.
Seemed like every time there was ground to be gained, Kevin, in the playoff race, the Nuggets came through. Teams in the West like to run a little bit, but I don't think anybody could really run with Denver. That's how they were able to both win at home and win in the conference.
Well, let's start with the positive and the Lakers postseason. They did make it. That's all that can be said is their dramatic passing of Utah and the Rockets down the stretch to take the 7th seed was really the lone highlight of what would be a quick exit from the playoffs for them.
All free throws good from Craig. Going back to the Lakers, swept in 4 straight by the Spurs, and none of the games really that close. Spurs, Steve, just dominated them in every sense of the word. Injuries didn't help either.
No, they didn't help, but the Spurs just outplayed whoever was on the floor for LA. And I think a lot of people thought the Spurs would be a good first-round matchup for the Lakers, but that notion was quickly squashed. San Antonio just totally dominated.
Nuggets trail. 1:49 left here in the third quarter. Kicks it to Millsap. Lots of room. The shot is up. And it's the Lakers the other way. And count the basket. He is fouled, and he's going to the line for one more. The Nuggets have shot 75% at the line tonight, going 3 for 4.
One thing that stood out with the Nuggets, guys, is how they rebounded the ball. They had a number of guys that could just attack that glass, and when you have guys that are hungry and resilient and relentless, you get a lot of rebound.
Now here's LeBron, and Davis backs down. Good work defensively by Millsap. Jokic, he's guarded by Davis. The pass to Craig. Feeds to Porter. 6 to shoot. Takes the 13-footer, and he drops that one in. And now it's a 3-point Denver lead. Well, guys, back to the
approach run at all costs and attack the glass, both on the boards and in transition. And I think that's one of the reasons they developed the identity that they did as a team. They were a nightmare to deal with. They just came at you in waves.
Here's Green after the made shot from Porter. Green kicks to LeBron. It's good from long range. LeBron's got 6 points.
He's gutsy. That's what I really respect about him. It seems like the more pressure there is, the more he enjoys the moment. But he is the guy you want taking the big shot at the end of the game.
And he is a persistent defender too, Steve. I mean, even if he gets caught behind on the break, he'll bust his behind to get back into the play and maybe come up with a block at the last second.
And here's Porter after LeBron James hitting the three.
Everybody knows how brutal the Western Conference can be, and part of the reason the Lakers were able to make it to the playoffs is because they were above 500 in the West, which is pretty impressive.
Free throw good. Porter. Well, going back to the Lakers in the West, they would end with a 28-24 record, Steve, against the rest of the conference. That record falling right in line where they finished in relation to the rest of the West.
Well, and that record was really the big reason that they were able to catch up to Utah and end up passing them for the last playoff spot. Laker fans might not be happy with how quickly they exited the postseason, getting swept by the Spurs, but they did make a good push at the end of the season just to get in.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Yeah, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
There's 10 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. LeBron passes to Morris. Here's Kuzma. Gets it to go.
I don't know who was supposed to be on him there, but clearly a mistake by the defense.
We're at the end of the third. We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for the Nuggets.
Well, they're taking high percentage shots in the paint. I like the way their offense is clicking.
Well, they've also really been down in with their jump shot. I mean, they have not missed much from mid-range today.
JaVale McGee's checked in for Markieff Morris. Passes it to Murray. Here's Craig. No good with the triple. The Lakers trail. LeBron drives in. Count the basket and the foul. It's going to be on Mason Plumlee.
He'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play him.
And the Nuggets making a change here.
LeBron James at the line for one.
On the free throw, no good. The Nuggets shooting 47%, pretty solid. Takes the three. Good.
Not showing too much respect for him defensively, are they?
So it's the Lakers now. LeBron with it. 1 minute now into this fourth quarter. Pass to Caldwell Pope. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. LeBron's got 3 assists in the game. Here's Jokic. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, he sets a mean screen. I know that. And it's just taking the bounce off his body. He sets up and screens off the defender. So you love having a guy like that on your team as an offensive friend, constantly looking to get you open.
You know what else, guys? He instigates so many of their fast breaks just because of how quick and accurate he is with his outlet pass. That's another one of his real nice talents.
And the Lakers call time here. They're losing by 2. We've got 1:48 left in the fourth quarter. Let's go quickly over to Dennis Blake for an update.
Listen, they've got no answer for us inside, and we're not going to let them off the hook now. Keep pounding it down low.
And so here's Denver after the miss from Green. Shoots. That one way on.
The defense better not make a habit of giving him that shot. I mean, he doesn't miss many of them.
Here's Caldwell Pope. Here's Davis. Off target at the rim. Denver in the lead. Porter is free on McGee. Pass to Craig. Jokic. Covered by LeBron. Here's Jokic. And there's the whistle. Foul on the shot. It's on LeBron James.
At least the defender got his knees on him.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
Drops the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 4-point ball game.
2-possession game now, guys. Some very important free throws there.
He's covered by Murray. Here's LeBron. Good! And he has put them within 2 points.
So they're having major trouble dealing with the ball.
For Denver, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, playing about 2.5 minutes through it right now. And there's the pass to Craig. Back at 6. Murray.
Oh, what a clutch shot. That could be the difference maker.
Big moment in this game.
Timeout call for Lakers. They trail by 4. 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. LeBron outside. He kicks it to Green. Here's Caldwell Pope. Can't get it to fall. So it's the Nuggets taking the W in a close one. It was tough.